The Zephyrian patrol squad had faced down plasma cannons, navigated asteroid fields under heavy fire, and survived the toxic swamps of Kepler 442b. But none of them had ever encountered anything quite like the small, furry creature that now blocked their path through the dense forests of Earth. Captain Vextai clicked his mandibles nervously as he studied the beast through his tactical visor. It stood no taller than his knee, covered in mottled gray and brown fur that seemed to shift in the dappled sunlight. Its ears were pointed and alert, constantly swiveling to track the slightest sound. But it was the eyes that made his blood run cold, pale yellow orbs that seemed to pierce straight through his combat armor and into his very soul. "Sir," whispered Sergeant Clixon, his voice barely audible through the comm system. "Recommend immediate withdrawal. This predator exhibits all the characteristics of an apex killer." The creature's lips pulled back slightly, revealing a row of gleaming white fangs. A low rumble emanated from its throat, a sound that spoke of ancient hunts and primal violence. The squad's bioscanners were going haywire, registering threat levels that shouldn't be possible for something so small. "Look at those claws," breathed Private Zephu, his weapon trembling in his four-fingered grip. "And the muscle definition beneath that fur. This is clearly a miniature version of the legendary Terran dire wolves we studied in the briefings." The creature took a step forward, and the entire squad instinctively stepped back. Their training had prepared them for the known dangers of Earth. The massive predators like bears and big cats, the venomous reptiles and arachnids, the pack-hunting canines that could bring down prey 10 times their size. But this was something different, something worse. The beast's head tilted slightly, studying them with an intelligence that was somehow more terrifying than mere animal cunning. It was calculating, measuring their weaknesses, planning its attack. The rumbling in its throat grew louder, more menacing. "Sir, I'm reading elevated stress hormones from the entire squad," reported Medic Yilpa. "Heart rates are approaching critical levels." Captain Vextai was about to order a tactical retreat when the sound of approaching footsteps made everyone freeze. The creature's ears perked up, swiveling toward the sound, and its stance immediately changed from predatory to excited. A human emerged from the tree line, jogging along what appeared to be a recreational trail. The Zephyrians had been briefed on human physiology. Bipedal, approximately 2 meters tall. Minimal natural weaponry, but compensated by tool use and pack tactics. This particular specimen appeared to be a young female, wearing brightly colored synthetic fibers and making rhythmic impacts with the ground in what their cultural analysts had termed exercise running. The human noticed the standoff and slowed to a stop, her gaze moving from the alien patrol to the small creature and back again. The squad tensed, waiting for her to scream, to flee, to call for backup. Instead, she did something that made their translators malfunction for a moment. "Oh my goodness," she said, her voice rising to an almost musical pitch. "What a cute little puppy." The word cute caused a cascade of confusion through the squad's translation matrices. Their databases struggled to process how the same term humans used for small decorative objects and infant offspring could possibly apply to this miniature engine of destruction. The creature, the puppy, immediately abandoned its threatening posture and bounded toward the human with what could only be described as joy. Its tail, which had been rigid with predatory focus, now wagged with such enthusiasm that its entire rear end wiggled. The terrifying rumble transformed into high-pitched whimpers of excitement. "Who's a good boy?" the human cooed, dropping to her knees as the creature launched itself into her arms. She caught it easily, completely unafraid as those razor-sharp fangs came within centimeters of her throat. Instead of tearing out her jugular, the beast began licking her face with obvious affection. The Zephyrian squad stood in stunned silence, their weapons slowly lowering as they tried to process what they were witnessing. "Look at those little paws," the human continued, completely oblivious to the existential crisis she was causing among the alien soldiers. "And those ears. You're just the most adorable thing, aren't you?" She looked up at the patrol, seemingly noticing them for the first time. "Sorry, is he bothering you?" "He's probably just curious. Rex here is still just a puppy, only 4 months old. He's all bark and no bite," she laughed. "Well, mostly no bite. We're still working on the teething thing. 4 months old. A juvenile." The squad's xenobiologist, Dr. Mordak, quietly updated his threat assessment files while trying to comprehend the implications. "If this was a juvenile terror beast, what did the adults look like?" "He's gorgeous," the human continued, scratching behind the creature's ears as it melted into a puddle of contentment. German Shepherds are such beautiful dogs. Is this your first time seeing one? The creature, Rex, yawned, revealing those terrible fangs one more time before settling into the human's lap like an oversized, deadly house cat. The human's complete lack of fear was almost more unsettling than the beast itself had been. Captain Vextai found his voice first. You keep this creature as a companion? Of course. Dogs are man's best friend. Rex here is going to be a therapy dog when he grows up, aren't you, baby? She planted a kiss on top of the creature's head, directly between its pointed ears. He's already so good with people. A little energetic, but that's normal for puppies. As the human jogged away with her therapy dog trotting happily beside her, the Zephyrian squad remained motionless for several long minutes. Finally, Private Zeppu voiced what they were all thinking. Sir, I'd like to recommend an immediate revision to our threat assessment protocols for this planet. Captain Vextai nodded grimly. Any species that could inspire loyalty in such a creature, and then dismiss it as cute, was far more dangerous than their intelligence reports had suggested. The humans weren't just survivors. They were apex predators who had somehow convinced other apex predators to love them, and that was the most terrifying thing of all.